I'm not the type of person to tell you that you should visit Alaska before you move here. I mean, are you going to visit for 1 week and then decide whether you should move here? Or you're going to visit for 1 month and then decide? Isn't that putting a lot of unnecessary pressure on yourself to make the decision in such a short period of time whether you should move across the country? And what exactly are you going to do or see in 1 week that's going to help you to decide whether you should move here or not? You're only going to see the good things about Alaska because that's what normally happens when you go to a new place that you're interested in for a short period of time. It's called a vacation. You're not usually on vacation long enough to see the bad things. I've noticed there's two types of people when talking about moving to Alaska. The people who say, I want to move to Alaska, and the people who say, I'm going to move to Alaska. If you want to move to Alaska, chances are you most likely never will. It's just an idea and it sounds fun and it seems like it's going to be something different and maybe better than where you are now, but you haven't really thought long and hard about everything involved. And you're not going to put much thought or time into making the move later because you would have already done that when the idea was fresh and new. That's when you plan things when you know you want to do something. On the other hand, if you're going to move to Alaska, you've already put thought into moving. You probably know a few of the places you would like to move to, and you also know a lot more about Alaska than someone who doesn't live there should know. You've put the time and energy into moving to Alaska 1 year or 5 years before you are moving there, because you've already convinced yourself that you are going to move there one day. I also believe when you want to move somewhere and you make that move, you're less likely to stick around if things don't go exactly the way you want them to go. There's that word want again. Most people who move to Alaska eventually leave. People say they love snow, but when they get here, it's too much for them. People say they like cold, but when they get here, it's too cold for them. Because that's not what you wanted when you wanted to move to Alaska. If you've already convinced yourself that you are going to move to Alaska, you've also convinced yourself more than likely that you're not going to be chased away by the bad things. You've just accepted there are things that are not going to always be comfortable when you live there. You don't necessarily want minus 40 degrees, but you're still going to Alaska and ready to accept it. What I've noticed while living here is all of the things that make life more inconvenient and uncomfortable are only going to chase you away if you let it get into your head. If you stand outside in the cold and mumble about how cold it is, you won't stay long. But if you stand outside in the cold and just brush it off because that's the way it is, you'll make it all the way. It's all in your head and it's not what you want, but it's what you're going to deal with. I want to give you a house, or I'm going to give you a house. Which of those would you prefer hearing someone say to you?